Good evening. In Luke 10, we find a conversation between our Lord Jesus Christ and an expert in the law. The expert in the law tried to trap Jesus in a question by asking him what he should do to attain everlasting life. And then Jesus referred him back to the law, and the man answered that in the law he reads that he should love God with all of his mind, all of his strength, with all of his being, and that he should love his neighbor as himself. And then Jesus says, it's correct, you should go do that and you'll live. But then the teacher wants to justify himself. And then he comes with a second question, asking Jesus, but who is my neighbor? And it's to this that Jesus answers in verse 30 of Luke 10. In reply, Jesus said, a man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he fell into the hands of robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down the same road, and when he saw the man, he passed by on the other side. So too a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But the Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. But then he put the man on his own donkey, took him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 silver coins and gave them to the innkeeper. Look after him, he said, and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have. Which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers? The expert in the law replied, the one who had mercy on him. Jesus told him, go and do likewise. The problem that this expert of the law had is that he wanted to determine who his neighbor was. Because it's easier, or at least it should be easier, to love someone if you've chosen that person. But then Jesus tells a parable that actually changes the question. The question moves from who and what type of person can be my neighbor to what type of person am I? It moves from what type of person or status class deserves to receive my love and my care and my service to what type of person am I? Am I the kind of person that loves people no matter who they are? You see, it's this change that needs to occur in our lives, and it's exactly for this reason that our Lord Jesus Christ came into this world and lived in our place and sacrificed himself on the cross so that we can be converted, so that we may have this new attitude of love towards other people. The whole parable focuses on the people that meets this man while he's lying there in the road. The first two people is sort of obvious choices for a neighbor to this man. The Levite and the priest are both people that devoted their lives to service to God, working in the temple, devoting their lives to him, and therefore it would make sense that they would help this man. And yet we read that after seeing him lying in the road, they passed on the other side of the road as far as possible. They passed past this man. The third person that met him is a Samaritan, an enemy to the Jews. This expert in the law would never have expected the Samaritan to be someone that could do good to someone else. And yet we read that when the Samaritan saw this man, he had pity on him. The priest and the Levite, the two logical choices for a neighbor, passed as far as possible past this man. And this man, who no one expects to be a neighbor, he has pity on him. And then he helps him. He goes out of his way to help him. And if we read carefully through the way that he provides for this man in his need, we see that to be a neighbor means that I have to bring people into my personal space. I can't help them from a distance. It means that sometimes I'll have to give some of my own things to help others, even things that is precious to me. It requires sacrifice. It means that I'll help today, but also that I'll return to see whether it's necessary to help further. May the Lord work this kind of attitude in us as He renews us through His Word and Spirit, so that we will be people who are willing to go out of our way to serve others. Good evening.